Welcome to Review from the Opposition with a slightly croaky Henry Morgan.
Problem.
Mike Duffy of the Voices of the Vic podcast. It's wonderful to have you back on, fella. Congratulations on promotion. I guess you've probably sobered up by now.
Yeah, no, it's great to be invited back on. Thank you very much for having me back on. But yeah, it's been a whirlwind of a few couple of days since Saturday, and then obviously Saturday itself. You know, it wasn't a classic, I'd say.
It was not a classic.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't know if that was the feel from Millwall point of view, but certainly with our fans, it definitely wasn't a classic. But we got the job done just about. I think I said to you I was sort of expecting a tough, close game, and I knew what you boys would bring, and you made it hard for us. I thought at one stage, you know, although Bachmann wasn't really troubled, I think it's fair to say.
Two saves, I think.
Yeah, I still think you made it hard work for us, and you weren't going away without a fight, and you could tell that you wanted to ruin the promotion party for us, and I thought you boys made a good account of yourselves. I really did.
Yeah. It was certainly, Mike, a lot better than the Bournemouth game from a Millwall perspective. What do you think was Watford's best move of the game?
I think it was that one that got us a penalty, to be honest. Like I say, we really struggled to sort of get going afterwards. And one thing I've noticed this season under Cisco is we'll look to get an early goal, and I think in the first 15 minutes of games, we've possibly scored 16 or 17 goals, which, you know, it's obviously key if you get an early goal. And with us being so good at home as well, that tends to help matters as well. But to get that early goal, I think that move was brilliant. I think, was it a young lad from your sides that brought Sarr down? And I think maybe inexperience maybe cost him a little bit there.
Yeah.
But Sarr's just rapid.
He's had a phenomenal season as well. I think he's probably widely agreed by. I was on a different podcast last night, and with Bournemouth, Swansea fan. There was a Watford fella on there and Forest, and I think the general consensus was that he'd been everyone's team of the season. So that gives you the level of quality that he's got.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was the best move. Could we have had another penalty? I can't remember whether it was in the first or second half now, but 50-50. I've seen them given and obviously seen them not given. So I'm not too bothered, although it would have been nice to get a second goal. But I think that was probably the best move of the match. I don't think either keeper really, I know we've mentioned Bachmann maybe had two real saves to make. I think that was the same for Bilkowski. You know, other than the penalty, I don't think he was overly stretched. And
no, true.
You know, I don't think so. Yeah, I think it was one of them games. Very nerve-wracking, I imagine.
I was going to say, and I think the second half, it seemed to me that Watford got just more and more cagey, and that played into Millwall's hands a bit, really. I don't think it was really Millwall's game plan. I think, you know, we had a conversation just before the match about how different the Millwall team was. We obviously had people filling in left, right and centre. We had people that were limping through training on Friday and only just making it into the team. Jed Wallace, Scott Malone, being two notable ones. Mason Bennett, I don't think, was fit. We had Marlon Romeo playing well out of position. And was there anyone from the Millwall side that stood out for you in terms of actually you didn't think they played particularly badly, or they surprised you maybe?
Well, I was speaking to one of your guys before the match, and they said that they weren't particularly pleased that Bradshaw was playing for you guys.
Yeah. And
I could sort of see why. He gets himself into dangerous positions.
He does.
And on another day, he could have maybe had two or three. So, you know, we know just how frustrating that can be with Andre Gray. You know, he's probably hyped up maybe more than the ability. But I thought Bradshaw got himself into some very, very good positions without, albeit actually punishing Daniel Bachmann. I really like Jake Cooper as well at the back for you.
Yeah.
I think he's an absolute rock, you know.
Yeah, he is solid.
And another man who I don't think I mentioned in the preview when we spoke before the match, Kifton Bell, is just being from Birmingham and having mates that are Birmingham City fans myself. I know quite how well Clifton Belt is respected in Birmingham. I know Gary Rowett likes him as a player. That's why he's brought him to Millwall. But the guy's hard as nails. He'd tackle a bus. That type of player. And I think he sort of impressed me as well. But yeah, it's really hard to maybe pinpoint specific players because, as I say, no keeper was really, really tested at all. And I think I'd struggle to pick a player out from our side. I mean, it'd obviously have to be Sarr because he scored the penalty. But it was like you say, it was one of them games. On another day, Millwall would have gone on to win that, I think.
Very interesting. What did you think about the referee? I'll be honest with you, I didn't think he had a particularly good game. He broke up play quite a lot, but it's difficult because Millwall are a very physical side. Yeah. I'd love to get your thoughts.
Yeah, again, as you say, it was quite a cagey affair. So, like I said, with the penalty, I've seen them given, I've seen them not given. So, yes, I would have liked it, but I can't have too many complaints there. But I don't think we really were as free-flowing as we have been at home. So maybe from a Watford point of view, whereas you've just picked up on he perhaps didn't let the game flow as much. I don't think we perhaps saw it from that point of view because we weren't as fluid as we usually are at home. So maybe we saw. I could totally understand why Millwall fans think that the ref perhaps didn't have a good game because there are a lot of niggly fouls from our point of view, which even I was surprised the ref blew up for. So yes. I can totally understand that. So from our point of view, purely because we didn't play to our A game and play as well as we know we can, I didn't notice a big difference. But he certainly was very kind to us. Let's put it that way.
Okay, yeah, fair. I completely agree with what you said there, to be fair. Well, look, we obviously won't have you on next season unless we get you in the League or FA Cup. But it's been wonderful to have you on, mate. Thanks so much for doing this. Best of luck with those popcorn eating munchers in East London next season. I hope you manage to do the double over there in East London. And I'm sure every other Millwall fan would wish you all the best for your journey in the Premiership.
Yeah, no, it's been brilliant being on, and like you say, hopefully we don't join the cup because I seem to remember we drew you in the cup when we were in the Prem before, and you absolutely battered us all game. So,
yeah,
I was. That's it. Yeah, I was speaking to one of your other guys as well, and I said I think Millwall have got half a decent chance if you can get in a couple of additions in a couple of different areas. I think they've got half a chance of surprising a few next season. So I do like the intimidation from Millwall. It is quite an intimidating place to go.
Where would you say? I mean, I guess up front you'd say we need to strengthen. Yeah. Where else were you thinking? Creativity in midfield?
I would say creativity in midfield. In terms of breaking up play midfield, you've got Clifton Belt. He's a perfect guy for that. I think I said that back in January, before we signed Gosling and brought Sanchez in, I wouldn't have minded Clifton Belt for Watford because he is that tough tackling centre mid that you need, and he's going to press, he's going to break the play up. But if you can get someone alongside him that, can pick a pass out, and not saying he can't, but he's more creative than Clifton Belt, then those two will complement each other really, really well. And then, as you say, if you can get someone who knows where the back of the net is, I know it's easier said than done, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of players available that have got a decent track record at that level. So, yeah, I think I only think it's a couple of additions away from really surprising the Championship next season. Millwall's always been a tough place to go, regardless of how well or how poor you may have been doing in the league and your league positions. It always has been, and that's one of the games that I think many fans sort of think you can never really predict how it's going to go. So, I'll be keeping a close eye on you boys for next season for sure. I think Gary Rowett could do something special with you boys.
Well, it's been brilliant to have you on, mate. Best of luck for next season, and hopefully we'll talk again at some stage.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much for having me. Really appreciate it.